But with the Most High, I'm here this morning. But I did drop some shorts, some short vids, just touching in on certain diameters of situations or particularly of me. But Grand Rising, everybody, Grand Rising. I'm gonna give it a little minute, let everybody join in. That feel free to join in. This one here gonna be a good one, and I think this is something that, as a collective, we all can join in. Feel free to drop your comments and everything else and so forth. As usual, I got my tea going. You know, I hope everybody woke up full of happiness, full of joy. Hope you made your decrees. Because at the end of the day, we're gonna touch on that topic too. What it is to create. We might touch on it after we get past this here. You know. All right. I thought I was ready. Let me take one more sip. And I'm sending out love to everybody that tuned in, to all those that did subscribe, even the ones that just peeping their head in to see what to talk about. I appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. All opinions are welcome. All opinions are welcome. Even sidebars are welcome. So let's talk about it. What is a blessing? What is a blessing? Let's talk about it. A blessing can come in all type of shapes and forms. A blessing can be a small gem, just you taking your trip along your journey, and you just all of a sudden you look down, you're like, wow, that look good, and you just pick up that little small gem and you just looking at it. It's the same thing with your blessings. Sometimes we're blessed just to be more enlightened on a situation. That's a blessing. Because some people, you can be lost. You can be lost with thoughts or occurring events, not knowing what's going on. Just think about it. Think about being dropped off somewhere, no streets, no avenues, no paths, no sense of direction. Now, as you stumble along your way through these streets, these alleys, these paths, these corners, adjustment starts arranging itself. And you say to yourself, oh, okay, no, this way. That's a blessing. You know why that is a blessing? Because the Most High gave you a sense of direction. So just we gonna break it down what our blessings is. And we're not talking about the tangible. A lot of people look at the blessings or the straight up the beneficial part of what you gain or the tangible things that you gain. That's surface level. That's really the outer blessing. Let's talk about some of the real blessings. Being able to find sense of direction. Being able to analyze a situation, that's in front of you. Not only being able to see more clear and have more clarity of what's going on, but just being able to adapt to every environment, situation at hand, or just a test alone. So as you adhere to these type of situations, you look at it and say, this was a little piece of gem that I didn't have a day ago, a month ago, a year ago. But now that I do have it, that's a blessing because you're able to guide yourself. With nobody holding your hand, you're able to guide yourself. That is a blessing. Being able to make clear, conscious decisions, that is a blessing. Not only were you able to let go It could have been an addiction. It could have been a situation. It could have been just being just being with the wrong person, you know, the wrong type of energy around you. And being able to push all that to the side, make stern decisions, set up boundaries, however, which way you want to look at it. Not only did it unfog you, but it gave you more of a clear conscience to make decisions, to not second guess your decision making. Yeah. Because sometimes to be able to make it a decision, you have to take that walk. You have to experience the wrong decision. Because there's nothing better than experience. There's nothing better than experience. But you gain. You know, for every experience, regardless if you stumbled or was able to take a straight shot through that experience, you gained. Not only did you gain, but you was able to adapt. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Happy birthday, Hughes James. Happy birthday, man. Grand Rising. Great happy birthday to Hughes James. You know what I'm saying? I'm sending you nothing but love, prosperity, harmony, and high vibration, my brother. Happy birthday, my brother. Grand Rising, Chunkin. Grand Rising. Sending nothing but love, prosperity, high vibration to you too, to everybody. But like right now, it's a blessing. The more and more that you all as an individual joins in, it's a blessing. And I want you to know it's a blessing for you and it's a blessing to me. You know why it's a blessing to me? Because I'm able to converge. I'm able to share thoughts. I'm able to share the energy. I'm able to really decompress, but in a great way, meaning, you know, sharing my thoughts, my feelings, or just sharing my vision of things in life. Love to everybody. Love to everyone. Bruno Friday, Grand Rising. Hey, it got to be here, y'all. Okay. So remember, sometimes on that walk or your journey, the blessings can be this small. They can be this small. They can be, but you want to be able to embrace those blessings because that's something that you didn't have. That's something that you gained, you know, and not only did you gain it, it sharpened you in some type of form and faction, meaning it could have been discernment. It could have been clarity. It could have been vision. It could have been understanding. It's even more, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes don't overlook the small things because just with those small things, you was able to adapt to gain the bigger picture. Yeah, because if you lost, the first thing of being lost is to adapt. It's to adapt to the situation at hand, meaning to analyze it, to see how can I get through this, not walk around it, get through this, meaning face it, you know. And when you gain that type of clarity, you know what I'm saying, understanding, discernment at what's in front of you or what's at hand, you gain. You gain not only the experience, you gain the knowledge of the situation at hand, you gain the understanding physically of what you're going through or what it is that you're facing. And I consider all that a blessing, you know what I'm saying? So within my walk, just being able to pick up the small gems, you know, was something great. Cause it was at times where I came across a situation and it was like, thanks, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I had got this one here from my brother. My brother had gave me this one. But I appreciate you, my brother. E-Man, you say life has been hard for me lately. And honestly, this is helping a lot. Thank you for being you, and please never stop because we need more inspiring people like you in this world. I appreciate it, man. I'm a walking testimony, man, and it is the truth, you know. And I hope everybody continue this journey with me because it's gonna gain traction, you know. And I'm talking about, listen, through this journey, what y'all gonna experience from me is gonna be happiness, the emotional side, the downsides, the madness I went through going through the journey, adapting to know what it was to stand firm, the trials, the tribulations. But you know one thing about it, I learned I am that cornerstone that the builders rejected. Cause I was doing some reading, and you know that cornerstone that the builders rejected, it was an ugly shaped type of stone. It looked it ugly. You know, that's just like a diamond. You know, when you get a diamond, you know, there's different clarities. Not just the clarities, then the cuts. But this cornerstone was just ugly, you know? And that was what the builders rejected. But you will not believe it. That cornerstone was one of the most important pieces to a foundation. That's like two high rises, two walls. Without that cornerstone, they would not stand. I'm a cornerstone. I was rejected. You know, I was rejected for my experience of life, the tribulations of life, you know, and so many different things. But guess what? At the end of the day, it's so many of y'all that's a cornerstone, but you just got to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't able to mold you to what they felt was a square stone, a perfect stone. Nothing is perfect. If thou anyone is perfect, cast the first stone. So that's self-explanatory. None of us are perfect. That's a small gem. You know that, right? Once you're able to pick up that little small gem and have understanding with that I am not perfect, guess what? Guess what you just gained? You just gained more clarity of understanding, meaning I am someone. I am gonna make mistakes. You know, I am gonna adhere tribulation, stepping stones. You know, it's gonna be so much ahead of you that with experience you're going to gain. And that is a blessing. That is a blessing. When we talking about a blessing before you get to the promise and the grace, you know. And I want you to understand, man. I appreciate you, man. Love, man. I appreciate you for the sub. You know what I'm saying? Don't listen, man. No matter how hard it gets, no matter how hard it gets, man. Listen, just know you're not the only one. Yeah. You know, sometimes it's a blessing to have someone hear you out. And I'm telling you the truth, because when I didn't, you know, even if I did have one or two, I mean, I'm talking about sincere people, not people with a hidden agenda, the ones that are literally like say, what's wrong, Frank? What's wrong, Zoe? What's wrong, Poppy? You know, that's a blessing. Someone that's willing to sit there and hear you out. You got to, don't let it fly over your head, but that is a blessing. You know why I say it's a blessing? Because that person is willing to take in the words, not only the words, the hurt, the pain, whatever it is that you're trying to let go of, they're willing to take it and have an understanding. You know what I'm saying? And that's a blessing. That's a blessing, my brother. And I want you to know, don't give up, because for every step you take, that's a mile that you gain. Okay, you know, love, for real, it is a blessing. Because sometimes, man, imagine talking to yourself. Some people might look at me and say, oh, he tripping. Nah, I'm not tripping. Listen, when I ain't got nobody to talk to, I talk to myself. And that's not in a mental way. That's not, no. It's called, it's called to me self-counseling. Like, for example, I might laugh at something. I'm like, dang, Frank, did that really just happen? And I'm asking myself, did that really just happen? You know, that's just self-counseling. I'm reassuring myself to myself, like, oh yeah, that did just happen. You know, and I want you to understand, man, enjoy the small blessings, because it's only painting the picture of the bigger blessings. Don't let that go over your head. Listen to me now. Come a little closer. Enjoy the small blessings, because it's only painting a picture of the bigger blessings that's to come. Because with that there being said, you go to gaining so much traction that before you know it, you picking up all type of gems. Yeah, now you're fascinated with it because not only is you fascinated with it, you're gaining more blessings. Now you're having a clear vision. That's why you're becoming infatuated with it. Yeah, you're falling in love with it because you see that, okay, this here will work, it's going to work. Self assurance. That's another blessing. Meaning not leaning on another man or not leaning on validation from others. That's another blessing. Think about it. If you can build this type of characterism within you, from within, that I don't need no validation, is two or more. That's all it takes. Two witnesses or more, and that's you and the Most High. When you can come to terms with that, oh man, that is a great blessing. Someone might call it, oh, you think you this or you think you that. No, 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 no. I don't think I'm none of that. Number one, what I know that I am, I'm a clear conscious person looking at the world for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not only am I setting aside the things that don't matter, but I'm able to tunnel vision on the things that do. You know, not only am I not letting the naysayers or the bystanders distract me, I'm laser focused on what I know I can attain and the vision that I do have. I'm able to see it clearly, you know. And with these small jewels that you picking up, add all those blessings together. Eventually, those gems start to grow. Yeah, I don't care if you got 20 pebbles in your hand. They precious, you know what I'm saying? And remember, like I say, you are that cornerstone that the builders rejected. Yeah, they rejected it because it was ugly. It was like an L shape. And if you're a carpenter, which I am, I do metal framing, wood framing. I lay trusses. I deck. I do you name it. The only thing that I don't like doing is decking because I don't like the pitch of the roof. It could be a 3 pitch, a 2 pitch, a 5 pitch. It always give me strain on the back of my back of my heels. So as a carpenter, there are certain precious pieces that must be engineered. See, when it comes to engineering, this is something you can build a roof and not pass inspection. You know why? Because of the engineering. Because of the engineering, meaning there are certain things that must be applied from the inside. We're not talking about, see, that's the difference from the outer surface and the inside. We are talking about the engineering that must be blocks and everything else that must be in precise places inside the roof, meaning inside the roof, not the outer surface of the roof, inside the roof, you know. And it plays an important piece because without those installed, guess what? You shall not pass the inspection. So it is a blessing to be who you are. When you master self and you know who you are, you start to embrace it. And that's not being big headed. You start to really, really find the jewels and gems within yourself. And you know, when you find them, you got to utilize it. Same, just what we're doing right now. You know, associating with each other, sharing our opinions. You know, you want to utilize it to your best abilities. You know, and make sure that every decision that you're making, if you know it'll work for the collective nation, it'll work for you. We all got self goals, you know, but you wanna make certain decisions with a wide span where it reaches the mass. It works for the mass. Cause at the end of the day, guess what it's gonna do? If it's working for the mass, you know it's working for you. You know, and like it always said, if God is for you, who can be against you? Let me see, man. I gotta go because I got school soon. And this has truly helped me. You have an incredible mind. You're very intelligent, and I'm grateful to have found you alive tonight. Listen, I appreciate you, my brother. And guess what? Create your day. Man, I want you to create your day. You know why? Before you leave for school, no matter what words you use, you could just look at them. You could just talk to God and say, God, I decree for my morning to be full of joy, happiness, success, full of abundance. And that could be financially, that could be with anything. and you make a degree, and then you paint that picture. You take that brush and you paint it, meaning you can see a situation at hand that's looking to bring down your day, and guess what you do? You uplift it by saying good morning, because that same person that's on assignment probably ain't had nobody to encourage them this morning. So guess what? That's how you gonna fight the battle, with love, peace, harmony, and just keep it going, man. And have a wonderful day at school, man. Have a wonderful day at school. And nothing but love to you too, man. I appreciate you joining this morning. But no, I'm not changing. No, this is truly me. You know what I'm saying? So the reason some people never get to find the true enemy is because I have a lot of people. It's basically surface level conversations. When I do want to talk in different areas of life, some of them be lost. So if I feel that you lost, I try not to pressure the conversation. I try not to push it on to nobody. So and I just wait till those that I can share it with. And it's something I could have did a long time ago, but the timing was right. I've been in the wilderness for 40 years. Yeah. And I had to think about that, because they say the number 40 is an intriguing number. 40 days, 40 nights when it rained. Who was it, David or Samson? One of them, where they was in the wilderness for 40 days. Then one of them overcame something in 40 days. But the number 40 is very significant. So I was in my training grounds, for 40 years. And within those training grounds, I picked up a lot of blessings, a lot of small gems here and there. Yeah. And once you grasp them, you never lose. You cannot, whatever you gain here, you cannot lose. It's yours to keep forever. It's yours to keep forever. So me, I'm thankful. And let me personally tell you all, I'm thankful for the smallest thing. I'm thankful for the discernment I done gained. Having, you know what I'm saying? When I say discernment, meaning to adapt to environments, people, places, things. Not only that, the clarity, meaning being able to understand what's at hand, what's in front of me. My intuition, that's a great blessing. Yeah, that's a great blessing. When your intuition tells you something, it's not for a reason. It could be mind-boggling at first, but if you dial in on it, that is a great blessing. A very great blessing. And one of the best blessings I always loved that I gained was understanding. That's just like for every breakup, for every separation, for every loss, for every gain. You hear me? So think about it. For every loss, for every gain, I had understanding. When I was able to gain, I had an understanding that I made the right choice. I had an understanding that I kept faith. I had an understanding that I overcame. And that's just for the gain part. For every loss, I had an understanding. I had an understanding. You made the wrong decision, Frank. I had an understanding. You weren't supposed to do that, what you did. I had an understanding. You should have never indulged with those type of people. You see the difference? You gain in every aspect, right or wrong, you gain. You just got to look at the perspective of what you're gaining. You're gaining more self-decisions, better decisions. Yeah, not going along with the mass, not going along with the crowd, not going along with the popularity. You gain in every aspect of life, for the wrong or the right. There's no in between. There's no in between. A person that's neutral, the only time you should be neutral is when the Most High tell you to stay still. But besides that, you gain. You're going to gain. If you make a bad decision today, you're going to gain more insight on that bad decision that you made, point blank. And when you come to self-terms with that, you'll understand that's a blessing. Because if you didn't gain, now you become a loop. You become a loop. And that's the saying of make silly choices, get silly answers. But if I get to you the right way, make bad decisions, get bad results. So what did you do? You gained. You gained by knowing, by acknowledging that I made a bad decision. That with making this bad decision, this is where I landed. Do I like where I landed? No, I don't. So guess what? I'm acknowledging that I made a bad decision, and that is a blessing. Not only does it correct you to go back at it to make the right decision, and sometimes you might not even get it right the second time or the third time or the fourth time. Yeah, and it's like that because it's a training field. No, we all in training, but just know for every decision you make, good or bad, you gain, and that is a blessing. Yeah, and on the good side, you gain, and you know why that's a blessing? Because you want to gain some more. You like, wow. I say, oh, well, I made, man. It comes to self acknowledgement. You like, man, I actually did do this, and then it put a smile on your face, like, okay, if I was able to do this, I know I'm able to do this, this, this. And now, not only are you off and running, you know what I'm saying, but you gaining. And while you off and running, the blessings just pouring in. It's a blessing. Because if for every little thing that you're grasping at and you're attaining it, you like, wow, okay, I love this. I love this. So just always know, man, it's a blessing, right? And it's a blessing with the wrong. It's on how you utilize it and acknowledge and bring the acknowledgement to the forefront of knowing and accepting if I did do wrong and embracing for everything that I did right that came with that blessing. So I just want everybody to know, man, enjoy the small blessings. Because when the big one come, you might shed a few tears, but it'll be all worth the while. It'll be worth the when you really look back after you done gain so much traction, like where they projected for you to be, you surpassed that. When I say you surpassed it so far that when you do look back, you can't even see where you started at. Because that's how much traction you done gained. That's how far you done come. That's how far you done reached, by utilizing everything within you that the Most High has given you. Yeah. And you look back, you say, wow, man, I remember them long nights. I remember those tears. I remember the suffering. I remember the lacking, I remember being that cornerstone that the builders rejected. Yeah. And the thing about it, when you gain all these blessings and understanding, discernment, intuition, and everything else, you take it and you bottle it up in here. You don't take it and step on other people because you weren't built like that. No, a pure person with great intentions, I'm not built like that. So I know there's many more like that. We don't gain all these jewels and everything else to step on others. Nah. It was never in you. If you notice, if you acknowledge it, while you was going through the lack and going through the suffering and going through the tribulations and going through the slanders, and going through the betrayals, if you never tried to get your lick back, guess what? You have a great heart. Yeah. So when you attain these bigger blessings, the grace and the promise, what you think you're gonna do then? Your heart's not gonna change. You're gonna continue with that same pure heart that you have with every choice that you make with great intentions, not only for yourself but for others, because that's who you are. That's who you are. So just know, man. Sometimes think about it. Don't be so quick to say, "Damn, he ain't give me that house. Damn, he ain't give me that car. Damn, man, he ain't give me them $1 million." You know what I'm saying? Damn, he ain't give me 100 million followers. No. You know why he ain't give you all that? Because you needed all the small gems before you was able to attain those bigger blessings. Yeah. Because you would have squandered it. If you listen, it's so much I would have squandered. Because I was really road runnering out there, I was a road runner. And I'm acknowledging that, yeah. I was out there head first in a good way, but I was still out there. I was still in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I would have squandered it. Yeah. Even when you thought you was at your best in your younger days, or you was great at what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? As you gain more intuition, knowledge, clarity, vision, and all that, you only had a little micro gain of you being who you thought you were. Yeah, and that's the truth. Because I'm much more today than I was yesterday, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah, I really sit back and I look at it and be like, okay, I see you. I see this. I see that. It's the same thing with you. It's the same thing with you. So remember, we're going to instill this. We're going to wake up every morning and create our day. Yeah, you're going to create your day. Make a decree of what you want your day to be like and stick with it and paint it as you go. But to paint it as you go, you're going to have to be able to acknowledge situations at hand. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need more clarity. You know, you're going to need more intuition of what's in front of you, or what's around you, or what's behind you. But as long as you can grasp all four of those, you can diligently paint your day as you want it. It don't matter if it's just you solo by yourself. You can paint your day as you want it because you only have one person to answer to, and that's you. You only have one person to make decisions, and that's you. And you have no distraction because it's only you. Self-reliance, right? Self-reliance on you. No claps, no validations, no applause, no fans. You're only left with you. And guess what? You can do it. I love you all, man. And I want to say thank you for everybody that subscribed in, you know. And I did want to touch on Life's a Movie. Life is a movie. We're going to talk about this one, but tomorrow, maybe this afternoon. You know, life has been a movie for me. When I say God the Most High have kept his hands on me, listen, if they was filming it, especially in 2023, oh my God, life was a movie. And you might have some people that's gonna, you know, that's gonna say, oh yeah, he's not lying. Life was a 2023 for me. Oh my God. Some of the things I didn't even think I'd be here right now. It was a movie, light, camera, action, just like that there. Yeah. No, making them, you know, oh my, I don't even know where to start with it, but stay tuned. You might get me this afternoon. We can talk about how life is a movie, meaning experience. If I got to elaborate on it a little more, meaning the experience, the day-to-day decision, things that, oh my, people will look at and say, and they'll do a triple take like, is that really going on? Yeah, life was an experience. But I love y'all. Thank you very much. Have a prosperous morning. Grand rising to everybody. I'm sending out nothing but love, prosperity, you know, harmony, high vibration to everybody. Shalom.